Hello, it's another day for the Authentic You Power Talk. So today we are going to talk about the power of the integrated self. Some of you may be going, the integrated self, what are you talking about, Kristina? But don't you worry, we're going to have a deeper understanding about what that means and why it is so important. I'm really excited. I'm just letting the room fill up right now because I think we're going to get into a really good conversation around this. When we understand the power that resides within us, and it's really the integrated self. It is so amazing when we learn to love all those parts of ourselves. So come into the room and we are going to have a great hour together. And today, this one is for those who know me, I'm always really inspired by the talks that I do. Somehow they are top of mind for me. And this one is definitely, and we'll do some storytelling. And like I said, on my platform here, I know Noom Vibe, there's such amazing coaches here. So wherever you need to connect or whatever resonates with you, please go in, take a listen, hop on the stage, engage, because, oh, that rhymed, hop on the stage and engage. I think that the bigger message here is that we're all here to learn from each other and we're all here to share wisdom. And when we have different insights that we can share out, it's so powerful. And you will all realize this as you get more well-versed with this platform. You're going to actually meet some really incredible people and people with substance. That's the part that I think is the coolest part. I think that there isn't enough places, I would say sacred space, where people can come up and they can talk or something might resonate with you. I always say, if you can walk away with a couple of wisdom nuggets out of our conversation today or in one of the other rooms, then we're winning, right? It's really the more that we are all learning to love ourselves fully and we can show up in our best possible way, it means really great things are going to happen. Oh, wow. Julie's already on stage. I didn't even get to kick in, girl. So come on, Julie. I'm going to welcome Julie, one of my near and dear friends in the community. You guys are going to love her, and you probably already know her. Hey, Julie.
I'm awesome. I just wanted to tell you that, babe. I
love it.
How are you? You're right.
Oh, yes, I'm good. I
have a question. CHRE, what does that mean?
A certified human resources executive designation.
That is awesome.
Thanks. I worked hard for that. And I put it up there for people to see if they are either HR people or if they have business questions or whatever. There's another little hat that I wear that I can help support if need be.
Exactly. It's just showing people the tools in the box, isn't it? They're shareable. That's the whole idea of it, I think.
Absolutely.
We don't all put these sort of letters there because we need to be seen in high regard. Sometimes it's an information, really. So that's good. I'm glad I know that now.
I think
not only my wholeness, wholeness, I'm embracing yours. So let's kick off the show then. I might join again in a minute.
Definitely. I feel like I got a lot to say today, so I'm loving it.
I just wanted to say I am awesome.
You are awesome, and that's why we love you. It's absolutely amazing.
It's so funny to say it though, because
it feels a little weird, doesn't it? It feels like we have a little giggle about it, but it's like, no, you are awesome.
No, really,
that's a fact.
Yes, that's it. It's like, I am awesome. And then, no, I really am.
So awesome. Oh my God, that's funny. We said it again, right? I think everybody listening, tell yourself, you are awesome. That is fact. That is fact.
And then realize you sit with it for a second, because you will realize you've just told yourself the first truth you've ever told yourself in your life.
It's so true. It's so true. And it's so funny. Write down the word. Be in awe of yourself. But we as a society have told ourselves, well, you're too full of yourself if you do that. But that's complete and utter nonsense. So I love the fact that my dear friend Julie came up to remind us of that. But we were going to talk about that a little bit more. Today, we're talking about embracing our wholeness, embracing who we are. And it's funny that Julie, of course, Julie would be the one that would come up and go, hey, Kristina, what's your CHRE? And my CHRE is like this whole other life that existed before. I worked really hard to get my executive designation and all that stuff. And I put it on the back burner for a very long, for as I was going through this, finding these other parts of myself. I didn't think it was important. And then my son came up to me and he's like, "But Mom, you worked so hard for all of that stuff. Why are you just putting it to the wayside?" And I was just like, "Oh," because he found all these degrees and certificates and all this stuff. And I had them hidden in the closet. I was just like, I don't even care about this stuff anymore because I didn't think it mattered. But it does matter. And I'm going to explain a couple of stories today. It does matter because it is a part of me. So yes, CHRE is a part of me. It's a t-shirt that I have in my closet, and I shouldn't be hiding one part versus another if I'm truly integrating who I am. So I think it's actually a really cool thing. I wasn't meaning to try to bring that up, but it actually is so fitting for today's topic. So I really want us to talk about the power of the integrated self. I think many of us throughout our life, we operate fractures of ourselves. We do not operate from an integrated place. And I didn't learn this until I was in my 40s. And now that I understand it, that's why I'm here to talk about it more and more and more, so we can understand there is such benefit to all parts of you. The good, the bad, the ugly. Believe it or not, you're going to love the ugly as much as you love the good. And when you do, you're going to see how that part that you might have been hiding is actually the part that's going to help you when you're stuck. And I have a story to share with you today, and it's very live. And actually, I'm in the middle of it right now. So I always like to use myself or sometimes my clients, you never know who they are, as object lessons. So we really can see that this is real life. And this power of integrating and being in a place of wholeness is really the most beautiful thing that you can do for yourself on this journey. Because that's when we start putting down the masks and trying to find different identities. We actually love the awesomeness that resides in us, just as Julie said. So I want you to give yourself a little hug today and say, I am awesome. Say it right now to yourself. I am awesome. I am freaking awesome. Just yell it to yourself. And that hug is going to be the start of our conversation today. All right, guys. All right. So I really want to talk about the integrated self because that's how you learn how to live a fulfilled life. And isn't that funny? Our whole life, we've been told when we have had situations happen, or maybe we didn't make great choices, that we should hide them. Or people are going to judge us, or they might look at us a different way. So we hide those parts and then we continue on. But when we hide those parts, because we have shame, or we might be judged, or we're scared of what we'll look like, when we do that, we automatically fracture some of our awesomeness. Okay. So now we're going to think about how we're going to change that. We're going to change the perspective. Even if you walk out of here with a couple little things, I'm happy today. So the key is we are only moving into a more fast-paced environment that is asking us, and I know from a female perspective, guys is the same, but I'm coming from my lens, where it's asking us, this faster paced environment is constantly asking us to wear many hats. Be that person, show up well. Oh, are you the mom who gives your kids granola versus the mom who gives them Lunchables? I'm not judging either way. I'm just saying it's interesting how there's a tone. I'm the mom who would give Lunchables. Whatever was quick, and as long as my kids were fed and they were safe, I felt like, oh, I seem to be doing something right. But not everyone was looking at that the same way. But it's so interesting because we all come from our environments as to what was good, right? I come from an environment where when we were younger, we didn't have food. So if I can give my kid Lunchables, I feel very happy about that. So you can see that as I started to integrate, I started to understand it doesn't matter what your neighbor has to say. It's really about your own achievements and how you're moving along. And understanding as we're moving in this fast-paced environment, this is why we need to do what we're doing, because the demands of the external world is constantly telling us we need to wear more hats, or we need to be more perfect, or we need to have a certain way of being. And I'll just use the mom hat in order to be seen as a amazing super mom doing all this stuff. To me, the expectations are ridiculous. And when we understand that, then we put ourselves at peace, and then we can start looking at our wholeness, and then we can see if we're showing up effectively. So we're asked to be professionals, parents, partners, friends, community members, and we can often do all these things. The saying of jack of all trades, master of none. So you're really fragmented. It's not as connected. You might be able to say on a list, hey, look, I do all these things, but I want you to pause. Where are you in that? Do you feel that? Or are you rushing and you're not in the moment and you're not really enjoying it? And I think that that's why the work of understanding who you are and the integrated pieces, like picking them up and being like, oh, all right, this is going to be okay. This is who I am. I'm going to really enjoy this moment with my partner, or I'm really going to enjoy this moment with my friend or my kids, instead of rushing to the next, so you can start telling people about who you are and how important you are and status and all that stuff. Because when we do that, we lose parts of ourselves. Literally, the visual I have is like where pieces of ourselves are falling away in order to be this portion of ourselves, a fragment of what our potential really is. So I find that extremely powerful. And when we understand our integrated self, that really means, and that's why I do the work that I do, it means finding those pieces where you may have hidden things for a very long time, where you may have had shame. I had tons of shame about my childhood, tons. And I was going down the path of trying to prove to everyone that I deserved to be there, and hid those parts of my life. But one thing that has become very clear, and this is where I'm going to be sharing today, is that those parts of my life where now I understand, I can talk about it openly because I've integrated, those parts of my life are the parts where I learned how to survive. They are the parts where I learned how to fight. And they were the parts where I learned how to beat adversity when it gets thrown my way. They are the parts where I learned how to be resilient, not a checkbox resilience, but resilience when you learn where everything's against you and you can pick yourself back up. Now, I think it's interesting because when I was in that space, I call it, it was so fun. I was talking to one of my girlfriends today because it's very relative to what's going on in my life right now, which I will share. She was like, Kristina, you're in fighter zone. You're a fighter girl right now. And I'm like, absolutely, I am. But the beauty of integration is that I can pivot out of fighter girl. But fighter girl needs to be there when the going gets tough so I can get going, so I can get out of it. So very much high level. I was in the hospital yesterday with my husband. I had to go for heart surgery, and it didn't go very well. And when that happened, it's quite interesting to me. This is why I want to talk about this today, is that I've surrounded myself with beautiful people that come and will check in. I have a core group. It's a handful. I don't need many. But what happens is that they reach out and they're like, hey, are you okay? And I'm actually excellent because of my fighter girl in me. This is when I excel. Can you imagine? Some people may not have those skills, but I have those skills because I've integrated them from a very young age, and I honor them. They help me get through adversity. They help me push through to the next stage. So I'm, in my particular case right now, I'm solid as a rock. I'm super focused in order to pivot and get through the next phase. We're going to be back in the hospital next week, but it's interesting to me. It even surprises me, right? Because I have that in me that when crisis comes down, I'm your girl. And now I'm my girl for me. Now, the part that is even more amazing on this journey is that when you are in this space and you are not only fragmented, because the fragmented side would be fighter girl, and I would just be knocking everything out of play. And I've done it many times, general. She doesn't fully exist. She can pivot in. I love her. She comes in when I need her. But then now I also am leveraging this other side of me that's very compassionate and sweet and has empathy. So it's interesting because of the wholeness, the integration, it moves in and out. And I actually think that that is a very important piece for our growth, because if not, you could be very compartmentalized in your living. So I want you to think about that. Are you integrating? And integrating means taking those ugly parts and loving those ugly parts and seeing those parts that have happened to you and be like, that doesn't define who I am. I actually am pretty kick ass that I can get through this stuff. Literally, maybe not everyone would be in the same situation as me. But when Fighter Girl kicks in, it's funny because my girlfriends are checking in on me, but I'm not worried about now. It's more about when I'm out of Fighter Girl, because I know that's when I'm going to need the support, not when I'm in the Fighter Girl zone. So if that makes any sense. So I share that story because the integrated self is really being in harmony and understanding all these parts of ourselves are necessary in order for us to maneuver through this life. And when we understand that, it's extremely powerful. I'm going to bring Julie up. I saw her. Come on up, Julie. We did some sharing today. Hey.
I was addressing this earlier on. I did a little chat this morning. This is my last day at the Travel Lodge. Tomorrow I start my next pet sit. And for all of the things that have happened to me during various of the experiences, and all of the experiences that have happened to me in previous pet sits, some have been wonderful and some have been they give me an epiphany, if you like, about myself. All right. This is the great thing to say. All of the experiences show me something about myself. So the next sit that I go on, I go in openly because I have all of these experiences that I've had and they've sat within me and I've digested them, if you like, and taken them on board without any judgment whatsoever. It's just, oh, that's interesting. I do that wherever I go. That's interesting. Every day is fresh and new. I'm fresh and new every day. But along with that, I have to take on and take with me this varying facets of myself.
So true.
I know that I can get waves of anxiety. So I'm taking that on board. That's okay, actually, because when I have waves of anxiety, I've had them before. I have worked through them and things have been okay. I've got the tools in my box so I can actually be anxious. It's fine. That's embracing the wholeness of me. I know that part of me. I recognize it and I can give that part and another part of me that is calm and peaceful and present in the moment. So I can work with some of the things that I've learned through study. One of the studies that I do is the CBT, which is really very useful. At the same time, that another facet of me knows what I'm doing.
Right.
It knows that I'm utilizing these skills that I've gained in CBT to work on myself. So that facet of me can be trusting, all right? It'll go, well, you know what you're doing it, and you think it's going to, well, it might not work because you know the reason why you're doing it. And it feels as if I'm working against myself, but I accept that part too.
Right.
So you're getting a wholeness in there. That Julie can be anxious. Julie has the tools in her box to work her way through anxiety. Julie has to trust herself. It's not, and work. Julie has to work with herself.
100%. And I think that there's a key part that is really important. And you mentioned it. It's without judgment. So
Yeah.
if you have this side that surfaces, in order to love it, you got to look at it without judgment and ask
That's right.
itself, what are you teaching me? What do you want me to know?
That's right. And you can allow that experience as well. You can allow it. It's okay. When you get anxious, your body will do certain things and you can feel that, and you can come to the understanding in a wholeness way that is your body doing what you are asking it to do by creating the feeling inside you. And that's good. And it's not sustainable. It won't be like that all the time because you are ever changing. Situation is ever changing. The moment will pass. So you have to accept all of that as well.
Well, and I would say that maybe anxiety serves a purpose in certain situations for you, right? So maybe it's keeping you safe.
Yeah, it makes me mindful. It makes me focus on what I'm doing. Yes.
Beautiful.
Brings
But
it back to me.
you can see how you change the tone, right? Like fighter girl for me, we need to get through stuff right now. So it's got to come in. Just like the anxiety piece, it's time to be mindful. It's time to reflect. That's such beauty in that. You can come back up if you want. There's no one in the queue, but there's such beauty in understanding quotation, the bad. I don't think we should be judging our emotions, or ugly, but I'm just trying to, the ones that we like to hide. They're here to teach us something. They're here to tell us, and they're actually great tools to kick in when we need them.
So here's the deeper level. So I've taken us in. We're going to go into the funnel now, to the core.
Oh, I love it. I love this stuff. Let's do it.
But the outer edge of that funneling effect is the anxiety. And then we go down further into the funnel, and Julie is self-reassuring. But at the bottom of that tunnel, as we're going down, we discover what it is. And that anxiety comes from a space where Julie is unsure. Julie doesn't think that she can do this. Julie has a lot of self-doubt in there. And that is the start of the anxiety, you see. As soon as I feel things are going, I start to look for reasons to fail. Now, I have to accept that about myself. And that's when I give that part of myself kindness and love. That's when I go right down deep to the core and gently give reassurance. And that reassurance then comes back out in the opposite end of that spiral. And it makes me lean on the skills that I have to talk myself around this wonderful anxiety and realize that it's making me become aware, which is okay. It's a way of preserving and keeping everything safe. That's fantastic. And we'll come out then at the very end of this anxiety. What happens at the end of it is wonderful because Julie interjects in that whole situation humor and
so
lightness. Good. Yes.
Yeah. So great.
Don't make these things heavy, Julie. Laugh at them. It's fine. You were worried about the dog eating chocolate. You remember that?
Yeah.
The dog, the chocolate. I had to take the dog to the vet. I had to drive in this brand new van to a place I never knew with this poorly little dog who wasn't actually poorly at all, but in Julie's head with her anxiety, this dog was going to die. There's no two ways about it. I'd been there for one day and this dog was going to die, all right? They'd eaten chocolate. Read it on Google.
I know. Oh, my gosh. The dog was okay, right? The dog made it?
Was absolutely fine. In fact, the dog was so lovely to me. It allowed me to take it to the vet. It allowed the vet to give it an injection where it was absolutely sick as a dog. And then it allowed me to force feed it this charcoal, which is a way of absorbing any nasties. And then it deposited a lovely poo on the sofa where Julie had to clean it up.
Oh, there you go.
This dog was so good. And then I took it for a walk, and then it saw a cat, and it dragged me 100 yards along the floor and parked me unceremoniously under a wheel arch of a parked car. It got its revenge. Look at the comedy of that. And you think, I'd sat there for the following 3 weeks with this spiraling anxiety at times. And what did I do? I called in to that Julie who can give herself the tools to calm herself, to realize what that anxiety is giving me. It's giving me useful stuff, and it will pass. And this lovely dog would be lying on my bed every night, taking up all the space.
So
And
cute.
it was wonderful. I was to take it on beautiful walks. They were wonderful. And all of that energy spent in those anxious moments were quietened through comedy. If I could have seen that from afar, I would have laughed my little head off. You could have put that in a sitcom. It'd have been great. And that's also a part of me that I wholly embrace. I embrace it all. Life would be dull if we didn't have this multifaceted
100%.
wholeness to ourselves. So, one more thing before I go.
Yep.
I also laugh at farts. I can't help it, but I'm embracing that.
Julie. Oh my God. Much love, Never Doll. Oh my gosh. So interesting. I think that this is a huge part of the idea of wholeness is that we have to love all parts of ourselves. We can't choose, right? And if you're choosing about what you like and what you don't like, ask yourself, where is that lens coming from? Because if we are operating in wholeness, we are operating in love. And if we're operating in love, we don't get to love one more than the other. So it's really interesting when you start thinking about it. That's my role, is just to bring awareness to it. And it's understanding that, like I said with my story earlier, the fighter girl comes in, that little girl who knows how to survive. It's beautiful that she can come in and operate in this space, operating crisis when it's needed. And then I can put her, then she can go and sit back when I don't need her as much. But the part is that's really important is understanding we love all parts of ourselves. And when we love all parts of ourselves, then you're not in inner conflict anymore. And you don't have to ask yourself questions about if you're good enough or if you're being too vulnerable or if are my actions aligned, because you just are. And who's going to step forward when you really need them on this journey called life? So I have Dr. Rao here, so I'll bring Dr. Rao up and see what he has to say. And Dr. Rao, this is Embracing Our Wholeness. How are you?
I'm great. Kristina, how are you?
I'm very good. What are your thoughts?
Well, I don't think I have thoughts, but I know my inner self is whole.
Yes, agreed.
I stay there and use thought. Thought is such a valuable, powerful thing for us, but we let it dictate to us sometimes.
Agreed.
Get away from that, turn inward, and discover who you are by keeping your mind quiet. And then stay there and use the thought, use the body. Thought means the mind. Then you are not in trouble. You are taking care of the body better without identifying with it. You are taking care of your thoughts better without identifying it. But you can think when you want, you can stop when you don't want. That is wholeness, because you are coming from your essential you, which is whole itself. And then
Correct.
that has the tools of body and mind, that we can enjoy life, we
Mm-hmm.
can contribute to life, and we can be in life without being attached to it.
Yes.
Going through the peace into the life of river, but not allowing the river come into you, into the boat.
Say that again.
You are piercing through the life of river in the boat,
Right.
but you are not allowing the river come into the boat.
Oh, I like that. I like it. I got it this time. I
See,
like that a lot.
that detachment is not there. We kind of get attached to our relationships, our things, or all that, right? Whatever it is. But if you can enjoy and then just go. Even Milton said about that very beautifully. Kiss of joy as it leaves.
Well, and I think the attachment piece, that's so hard for people to understand, to let
Yeah,
go.
no, it's simple, because ancient times people were not attached to outside things, right? Our properties, our families, our roles, our relationships, and all that. They kind of enjoyed them, let it go, they accepted, life goes on. What the modern times did was they turned outward, because our intellect goes outward all the time. and our senses go outward. So if you can understand these two, the way of doing it, then you will have sense control and also no development of the egoic mind. In your real essence and use ego as your slave.
Oh, I like that. I'm going to put that on a post-it. Use ego as your slave, not letting ego run the show, right?
Yeah. Just by understanding. You see, like suppose I talk to Kristina, we are both our friends, we are exchanging some things that we both understand, and in that we kind of friends, right? And then why do Kristina is obligate to pay something for me, or why Rao has to pay something Kristina? We don't have that. We just open communication.
Right.
There is no.
And one isn't better than the other. That's the beauty of it, right? It's all unique offerings.
At that life level, being level, we are all the same. We may have different bodies, different sexes, different thoughts, and all that. So, okay. So, this is called Bhinatvam. Bhinatvam means different appearances, different qualities, and all that. In that, there is oneness. Catch that oneness, then everybody is a friend to you. Everybody, you will have compassion. Everybody is you, and you are them. That remember the Christ said, treat your neighbor as
I was
you.
going to say, do unto others as you want done to yourself.
That's it. But
Yeah.
we conduct away mainly because these outward things were promoted. This attachment to things was promoted.
Right.
And that's where I think we can get out of ourselves.
Yes. And it's really understanding. That's the whole point. When we are looking at something, and ask yourself, when you don't like something about yourself, whose lens are you speaking? Is it yours? Because it wouldn't, as far as I'm concerned, if you are in a place of love, you love all of you, good, the bad, the ugly. I'm using those labels just to get an idea. But sometimes we're judging ourselves based on the lens of the external world as to what we are, what's good, what's bad, what's pretty, what's ugly. Be very careful. Yes.
Question is, Krishna, who is it, that entity that is judging? That is the egoic mind. Don't let it rise up.
Yes.
So
I used to live in, I think I'm a recovering egomaniac.
we all are, no doubt about it. You know, we are
Okay.
all we are on the same journey. Some may be a little bit ahead, some may be a little bit behind
Yeah.
us. You know? But we're basically on the journey, right? Now, the more you have transcended the ego, that means it is not coming into operations as you do. If I have ego and then say, I am greater than Christina, I know better than her, that kind of thing, where is it coming from? From us. That who is that? I am operating at my mind level, not at my inner being level, which is whole.
Right.
That doesn't need any approval. That doesn't need any compliments. That only is fulfilled within itself. When you let the ego dominate us, then that other thing is going down. That is the problem.
Well, and here's the other part. The ego is what's promoting you to be fearful.
Yeah.
Because it tells you stories about, oh, you don't want to do that because it's trying to protect you in the image and attachments. You want to keep your attachments. You want to keep things. So being aware.
That is the egogenic thought patterns, emotional patterns within us. That means that should have been out there in the river. We let the river come into us.
Right.
That's get rid of that kind of thing. Will take the water away and then peace through the life smoothly.
Because then you're not scared anymore because you trust, right? You just, there's a deeper knowing.
You are in joy. You are in real happiness and you are in the real peace.
Yes.
Say, mind going that way, this way causes a lot of agitation. That is the lack of peace we have. So understand the mind, how it operates. It is supposed to operate outwardly to make things, to go direction, to understand what's going on and all that. See, what happens is when this mind is coming and then you have the reactivity at the limbic level, which is the fear and everything based on sympathetic system. That's the problem, but actually human beings have much bigger than limbic system over prefrontal cortex. Discriminatory and which can see what is temporary, what is permanent, which can see what is good for us in the long run, what is not good for us in the long run, and get over the instant gratification and all that. So use your brain you already have, which is the prefrontal cortex. Don't deal with the limbic loop of fear and anxiety and all these things. Emotional reactions we have immediately. Come on, take a deep breath, pause, and empower your PFC.
Yes. And I think that that's the whole thing. To me, it's one of the pillars. Self awareness is critical in order to know what you're doing. You're not going on autopilot. That to identify that the ego isn't running the show.
That is what I call PMA.
Present moment awareness. Yes, I love that.
You are in there, then thought is your slave. You use it and stop it when you want it. But if you are not aware and you engulfed in the network of thought, you go the limbic loop.
And then it's almost like a hamster wheel, right? You spiral.
That's it. That's a very good example to show people you are a rat running the race.
But you're never arriving because you're just like, you're running someone else's race, not yours.
That is a cyclical thought. Get
Yes.
rid of the cycle, and then you are in the real self.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Rao. That's absolutely amazing. I think that that is a very interesting part because we do have to talk about the ego and how the ego likes to run the show, likes to because the ego, here, I'm going to simplify the definition of ego. And this is what actually started me writing my book and everything like this, is that people think ego is just like when you go to the gym and you see someone and you're like, oh, that guy's got ego. He's full of himself. But ego is so much more in depth than that. I always say the ego likes to win, and all of us have ego, but are you aware of it? And do you self-manage that? I always say you can coexist with your ego. And I literally have conversations with my ego all the time about it's okay, I have this, I don't need you to jump in. And when we understand that, it gets pretty powerful. And oh, I have another guest here. I have Lois in queue, so I'm really excited about this conversation. But I think the ego mind is really important. So one of the three pillars is self-awareness. The more we are aware, the more we can really challenge ourselves about who is running the show. Is the ego stepping forward, or is it your true self? And remember, when you're in true self, it's a place of oneness. And this whole conversation today was inspired about embracing all of you, the parts that we love and the parts that we don't love. The ego will tell you not to love the parts that didn't serve you, but they actually did. If we are in oneness, we will love all of ourselves. And then we can pull them in when we need to. That was the whole conversation. I got to pull a fighter girl this Monday, well, yesterday, while I was in the hospital with my husband. It's the best place for me to be because I know that fighter girl can get through whatever needs to get through. But then afterwards, maybe I'll be in a different place. But I love her. I love her so much. And I think that we all need to love those parts that maybe they were hidden away. But those fighter girl for me is what got me to survive a lot. So when crisis hits or I have to be resilient, I just pull on her. And my friends are like, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm good. I'm totally good. I'm actually thriving in crisis. It's interesting. Not everyone's like that. But the whole point is, I wouldn't have been able to identify that until I really embraced all of me. Now I can do that, be a fighter girl and have compassion. It's integrated. It's all parts. It's actually quite beautiful. Lois.
Hello, beautiful, lovely lady.
How's it going?
I believe that it's going to unexpectedly marvelous with all the stuff that I'm encountering and stuff like that because I'm growing. And I'm not to say this, not to say that I'm not having obstacles, I'm not having problems, I'm not having issues that I'm having to face every day, but I'm able to face them with joy and resilience, knowing that this too shall pass and I'm going to learn something. So I'm embracing this difficulty this difficult season that I only call it a season because it's been 4 months, over 4 months. And to me, when I get to seasons like that, then I know that it's more time to embrace like you said, embracing your wholeness, because I need my whole self on this journey. I can't leave part of me off of it. I can't say, well, I'm going to ignore the bad stuff, or ignore the rudeness, or ignore that's what I would call toxic positivity.
Right.
Where I don't let myself feel what I feel and deal with what I need to deal with, because I got to stay positive. Oh,
that's not working.
There's a time and a season for everything under the sun that's said by the scriptures, and not just the Bible scripture, but other religious texts from other countries and other places. Everything works for our good, and that's been proven time and time again. So when we embrace our whole journey, even the problem with the ego is not a problem, because the ego, all it does is records and keeps messages and keeps track of what's going on. This is the functional part of it's our memory part of us, to make us learn, to help us to grow. So we can't do away with it. We just got to learn the lessons that we're being taught.
Yeah, I love that.
And if we don't, we end up slipping into ego defenses, where we're into that toxic positive stuff where nothing's going on, and we push it down and repress it and suppress it and depress it, and all them pressures down.
Press.
It's a pressing down, pressing everywhere else. But when we embrace the ego, embrace what it's trying to teach us, because the thing is that the defenses were built when we were children, because we didn't understand the world. We didn't understand how it operated. So we had to repress and suppress and depress and all that kind of good stuff to survive.
Very true.
Now we're adults. Survival game should be over. Now we have to start preparing ourselves to live. And with that, we got to face all those defenses that our egos put up to keep us safe, because now they're no longer keeping us safe. They're keeping us blocked from growth.
Unless, I would say, in my situation that I'm going through right now, I'm in it. I feel like it's awesome. I actually love it, because she is keeping me safe. She's helping me handle things. But I do know, when I know everything is fine and everyone's good, family is good, then I'm going to need downtime. I can recognize that.
And that is all the difference it is, because the ego is there to help defend us, to help protect us. And if we don't use its protection when it comes up, then we're going to be the lost ball in high oats. If we use its protection when it comes, when it's time to put on our super, to hit them wonder rings, we got to do. But remember that we push stuff down in order to hit them wonder rings. So that same stuff we push down with the ego to hit them wonder rings, we got to go pick back up when things calm down. We just can't leave it buried back there saying, I Wonder Woman got it, I'm done. Look at that no more. No, that's toxic to you, because in turn it will come back up and it won't hunt you. It will knock you down.
Well, and I think that that's the growth, right? Honestly, the old me would have just kept going and having all that stuff buried. But even for me to say to you, to be like, oh, I know I'm in this place. I'm going to get through this the next 2 weeks. And then I know I need to reconnect and work it through, right? That's
you
beautiful
gotta tell me what's
to me.
going on, because I want to know what's going on.
Come back up. Come, Lois. So, God, Lois, I feel like is a sister from another mister. So I was mentioning it before. Yesterday, I was in the hospital with my husband. He has gone for some heart surgery and it didn't go very well. So we have to go back next week. And it's interesting because here's a lot of TMI, but there was 100% blockage in his heart. So now they're going to have to go back and do some extra procedures and stuff like that. But I'm just in survival mode. I'm like, all right, no problem. We got this. Make sure he's okay. Do all this stuff. And that to me is extremely powerful, because I was saying that a lot of my really close girlfriends are calling me, are you okay? Which I love that I have great girlfriends around me. And they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, actually, I'm totally fine. I'm like so focused. I'm laser focused right now. But after all this is done, maybe we'll need to connect, because it's just that survival instinct kicks in. And I know you get this, Lois. I know you understand that.
It's hard to process when you're in survival mode. One, because your frontal lobe is offline. Your whole frontal lobe, reasoning, rational, that's offline when you're in survival mode. But sometimes you have to go into survival mode to survive whatever you're going through. But once the emergency is over, then you must go back and recalibrate and reassess what happens so that your growth doesn't get stunted or you don't bury this stuff deep down. And I don't have no doubt that you're gonna handle this, and I don't have no doubt that your husband's gonna everything is gonna turn out.
It's gonna be fine.
Like Mama said, right, perfect, and exact. The exact way it's supposed to turn out. Well, it's gonna turn out exactly the way it's supposed to turn out. And you're gonna be fine because you have all the tools you need to not just succeed through this ordeal, but to thrive through this ordeal. Because you've cultivated these seeds. You've cultivated the words that were spoken. You've cultivated the things. You even wrote a book about it. All you got to do is stick to what you know, and not the old fears, and you're going to be okay. The old fears going to come up, allow them to come up. But be afraid, because this is serious. But we're not going to take away from the fact that you have the ability to handle it.
And it's quite interesting to me. I think that, honestly, Lois, if I'm being... I have grown so much. Right? Very popular all of a sudden. I'm here. I'm so popular. So here we go. I have grown.
They're checking on you.
I know. Everyone's here. Thank you.
And they blessing you because they're saying, hey, sweetheart, you on my mind. I'm thinking of you in this moment.
I've got beautiful.
I don't think about, hey, they interrupted my no, they're thinking about me at this time, but let me finish what I got to do.
Love you.
It's priority.
I just love you. Yes.
So you know I love you too. And I know you got this. No matter what the outcome, you got this. And he has this. You know? As long as you're walking into it with peace and not being frazzled. And the only thing, you let yourself get frazzled when you need to go on attack. And sometimes when you're with some doctors and nurses, super need to come up. Power.
Right. Well, it's actually kind of funny. People are like, holy, Kristina, when you jump in, you need to take charge. I'm going to take charge. I'll do it. But because I've grown so much, I can do it. I'm finding it fascinating. I'm just processing. No, I'm in a great place, but I'm giving myself some love. I'm acknowledging that eventually I'll be able to work through whatever comes, but there's beauty in that. Right. So that's where I have to. So do you want to even let's go back to the ego for a second. Ego for me, I've named my ego, and I do exercises with my clients all the time about naming their ego. And it's actually quite hilarious. My ego's name is Maverick. Maverick comes in, kicks ass, does whatever is required. But the difference is that I know when I might need to lean into Maverick to do it. So in this situation, I need to lean into Maverick. It's okay. Exactly. It is. Totally. I have my fun little ways of saying it. But anyways, you can come back if you want. But I think that the idea is Maverick comes in and then I acknowledge. Whereas before, Maverick was running the show all the time. Would kick in doors, let people know who I was, proving who I was, all this stuff. But when you can coexist with your ego and understand the purpose, it is extremely powerful, but that is a part of wholeness. That's understanding, loving all parts of yourself. You don't just get to love one part
you like.
Yes.
No, you don't just love the parts you like. And I can say any part that you don't like in somebody else is the part that you don't like in yourself.
Right? It's so true. You're not going to get away with it.
No, you don't get away. And the trials and tribulations we go through only come to make us stronger, to take us to that next level of evolution that we've asked for. Now, we haven't asked to evolve and asked to grow. No, this stuff ain't going to make no bit of difference no matter what it is. But if we purpose our growth, everything is good. We're going to be able to see the growth potential in everything and to see our growth in the potential of everything. And that's two different things.
Think about it. Life is really here to teach us, right?
Yes.
There's so many, look at this scenario. I'm using myself as an object lesson just because I always think it's good to have stories to explain.
All right.
That it's lived experience. So you could take a same situation and have 5 different people tackle it totally differently.
Yes.
Is super aware, and then someone has not unlocked that door yet.
Yes.
And have a very different experience for each and every one. And when you've learned to unlock the door of self-awareness, the experience actually becomes pretty beautiful, because you can see the good in any situation, the learnings, the understanding of others, really an evaluation. And I was going to say this earlier, I don't know if Robin's still here, but being in that space in the hospital, if you want to get perspective on your life, go to a hospital. And I thought of Robin being a nurse and doing all this stuff. The nurses there were lovely. That they really made that experience different. And when we understand that we all play a piece in all that, it's extremely powerful. So that self-awareness piece is, so I just thought I would share that. How are you going to?
Because all things are co-created. There's nothing that happens just by you. I'm sorry, this does not happen. The energy don't work that way.
Check that ego.
I did it all myself. No, the people had to line up, the money had to line up, the places had to line up, the circumstances, the perfect storm, I call it, for whatever, whether it's something good or bad. It's a perfect storm. Every piece and part has to line up. And when we understand and embrace our wholeness, we got to recognize that every piece and part of us has to line up. We can't ignore any of it. I gotta let this dog out. We can't ignore any parts of ourselves, any of the tidbits and pieces. And I've been watching this as I'm going through this house thing, and it has opened up a new venture for me to reevaluate what it is I really want. Do I want a house and live by myself and have all the responsibility? And I've come to some conclusions. No.
Right? Isn't that funny? Yes, good for you.
I've owned houses now, and I've lived in by myself, because the reason for this last house was because I wanted to have a house all to myself, just for me, because I had never lived by myself, because I was always taking care of somebody all my life.
Right?
So I needed this experience. Now that I've had this experience, I know what it feels like. I know I like the experience, but I don't like the responsibility of the experience. So therefore, let's get rid of that, because that's weighing me down and it's holding me down, is locking me into feeling imprisoned by the house. No, I'm not going to be a prisoner to nobody or nothing. So for me, I'd rather let go of the responsibility of the house and all its upkeep, stay with my daughter for a little while until I figure out my next steps. And my next step is been wanting to travel. So I'm setting it up where I can get to travel everywhere I want to go by house sitting and doing different things, while I got a home to come to if I need to at my daughter's, because that's in my name too.
I love it.
And I can really live. Right now, with the past few years with the holding this house, man, I've been like, oh, how am I going to get this from? And it always comes.
It always does. Oh my gosh. Lois, you got to come back up in queue, but I've got Cicely in between. I'm trying to follow Mojo's rule one at a time. But Lois, I love what you said, because there's something about it, goes back to releasing things, right? Releasing attachments, really being aligned in your wholeness. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Are you aligned in your own personal truth? And I think that is what makes it amazing, when you really realize your life will totally change when you start embracing your wholeness. Hey girl, how's it going?
It's going well. I don't want to interrupt. I want to hear the rest of what she was saying, because she was getting to the good part.
Do you want me to get her and then you come back after?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to try and be fancy here. So I'm going to swap. I'm going to put Lois, listen, you're coming back in. Cicely, you're in queue. Oh my God, I'm so fancy. Look at this. Taking risks, trying new things. Oh, awesome. You're in stride, man. We want to hear it.
Right. I'm going to say, thank you, Sue.
No, you go back. I'll get you back in flow. You're talking about how you're going to house sit and you're going to do the things that you love. Go, keep going.
Yeah, so I'm doing the things that I love. So in that vein, I have in the past couple of days, I wrote a whole motherfucking book. Excuse my language. Ooh,
don't worry, I didn't hear anything. No one heard anything.
I wrote a whole book. I'm gonna say it like that. I wrote a whole book and workbooks the past couple of days. So for me,
I love it.
I know when I was sitting there struggling with the bills and the house and all that kind of stuff, I didn't have the freedom to be creative.
So
So
true.
releasing that gives me more freedom to be creative because that's not a worry. Even though it's still over there and I still own it and it's still got to be sold and stuff got to be liquidated and all that kind of good stuff. In my mind and in my heart, I've already released it. So my creativity has come back. This is why I don't like to hold on to garbage. I don't like to hold on to stuff. Not that the house was garbage. It provided the need that I wanted and it did. And I got what I wanted and I learned what it was like. And now I've learned and now it's time to move on to the next. You know, and I can say this for those who are in an apartment still trying to get a house. Really think about that because the house is the upkeep of all the land.
So funny you said that.
Every bill, every repair, everything. And in the past 3 years, I have spent, oh my God, so many thousands of dollars with the upkeep. Not now we ain't talking about just the mortgage or whatever. We talking about just the upkeep with the roof and the flooring and the plumbing and the hot water heater and the faucets. No. That money could have been well spent me traveling all around the country. So that's why the house is being sold after it gets fixed, because that money is going to be right back in there. So I haven't lost anything.
I honestly, I love it. It's so funny because I don't know if this is a natural evolution. I know Dr. Rao would hop on and say this is, but as you become a little more aligned in your own personal truth, you literally I really we have a lot of stuff. We don't need all this. I want to travel too. I want to see things. I want to see it through my kids' eyes. I want to do that kind of life, right?
Yes.
And that is totally opposite from the life that I built. Before it was all built on stuff, more properties, more this, more that. Now I'm like, oh my God, get rid of it. We don't need it.
I thought that was important because I was told that was important, and it didn't dawn on me. And when I bought the house 3.5 years ago, I bought the house because I really wanted, not because of those expectations, because I wanted to know what it was like to live by myself, not so I can walk around naked.
Everyone should do that.
But I just wanted to know what it was like just to be responsible for just me, and was my complete sentence for a lot of people. Okay, a lot of detachment and a lot of stuff. So now the next thing that jettison is the house. But before I do the house, I'm to daughter, I'm gonna narrow my clothes closet room. It's a whole room and shoes full of full. I got to narrow that down to 6 suitcases. Okay, just
So
you get rid
cool.
of all your purses, all your. I said, look, I'm gonna get rid of everything that I don't think that's gonna serve me somewhere else. Okay, I'm doing what I said with my talk at the end of the year. I'm packing and sorting and going through stuff, and I'm mentally doing it before I get back to the house, because the house right now, everything's in storage. And if I'm mentally doing how I'm going to tackle it, doing step by step, because I can't jump the mountain in one leap. I got to do it little by little, and I'm giving myself a year to liquidate. And then I'm still in the planning stages of this traveling. I already kind of got a destination where I'm going first.
Where you want to go? Where?
I like to live in Costa Rica.
Oh,
okay.
yes.
I want to go. I want to do the Bahamas. I want to do the different islands. I want to go to some of the countries that my daughter went to before she died. And I can do that house sitting. Okay. So I do what I need to do. And my mother used to say, Lois, you're going to be a vagabond. That was some bag. A hobo is what she said.
Oh my God, Lois. Okay, one more time. You come land the plane if you can. Because really, there's something to this. Like, this happens when you're good with yourself, right? When you're willing to kind of else, you're doing you. So I'm excited.
I start feeling that I'm going to get ill by trying to hold on. I'm let go. And this house over the past 4.5 months, really longer than that, since my accident 2 years ago, I started to get ready to sell it then. That was the first time I had the inkling, oh, do I want this? And then I said, you're running away. So back down the hatches and get it together. And everything was good. And I said, because when it's time for me to leave, I'll leave. And so having it flooded and having a hard time getting it repaired, and all the changes they sent me through are telling me, okay, maybe it's time to let go now. And then when I said that, other doors opened up for me to look at and look through and to say, hey, wait, maybe I want to go through this door. No, I want to go through door number one. Let's make a deal. I want door number 3, and I door number 1. Y'all can have that showcase. Okay. I'm going to door number one. And the thing is that for me, not only did it release my creativity, it also gave me a new vigor, a new something. So every ending is not someone to go mourn. Okay, you don't have to mourn an ending. You just got to know that it's a new beginning. So I can just like move, like a lateral move on to the next. I got joy already. Let's take the joy over here. Then if I get tired of traveling, I'm gonna say, let's take the joy over here. If I get tired, but the whole thing is following my joy is the most important to me. And this past few months has not brought me a great deal of that when it comes to circumstance.
Right.
But when it comes to inner stance, okay, there's some joy bubbling up in me that you can't keep me down. I'm sorry. You cannot keep me down.
Well, there's a whole like thing of universe, your path, right?
Yes.
And it's either go with the flow and have it happen beautifully and enjoy it, which is that's the we're supposed to do, or it's going to happen the hard way. So we can do this the easy way or hard way. You can hold on.
It's the resistance. The resistance to change is what causes it to happen the hard way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to resist this. I resisted at first. And that's like I said, I felt myself starting to get sick. Oh, and I was on a headache. My back started hurting. No. Resistance. And now I'm not in the flow. So my back ain't hurting. My head ain't hurting. I ain't sniffling. You know what I'm saying? So it's about staying in the flow of change. And I know, have to change for everybody. And if we can just embrace change with an open mind, knowing that you're going into a new avenue, an area where you get to look at stuff like a child. Wow. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Ooh, that is so joyful. That feels good. Better to me than, oh my God, look at that shit. Oh, excuse my language. Today. I'm a little out today when it comes to holding my mouth.
No, it's good, man. You're just like it. But I always say when I'm working with people and their intuition and stuff like that, I'm like, if the door doesn't open, don't keep forcing the door. Go find the other door that's meant to open for you because it's there. And when you're in that flow, so when you decided, I'll use you as an example, when you decided, no, we're going to liquidate, I'm going to do this. Now, books are flowing through you, excitement. It's just making sense. There's possibility, there's joy, because you hit the right door. But when you're trying to hold on to this house and do this because it's responsible or you're secure and all that too.
You don't want to be a burden on your kids, and you don't mean that's what everybody telling me right now. You're gonna want to be a burden on your kids. You sure you will interrupt their lives? And I'm like, they've been inviting me for the last 3 years. They didn't want me to move out. They moved into my house and I moved my house so I can be in my own. And that's the truth.
Right.
You know what I mean? And now I'm like, no, I'll come on over. My daughter said, Mama, you know what? You don't want to move with me. I'm going to pay you to come and cook for me 10 meals a week. Because it's a lot that comes with Mama in. But I love you, and I'm going to let somebody else get on here.
Thank you, Lloyd.
I can hold this all day because I love it.
You too. Oh, my gosh. I'm telling you, I am so grateful for these souls that we are all finding each other. Like, my heart's full. And what Lois speaks, it's true. It's like other people, you have Cece on here, you have Lois, just name it two, like really like changing the traditional way of being. They're putting that down and they're going to find their joy. They're going to find their freedom, their peace of mind. I'm like, because I think the more that we can lead by example, the more, that starts to win. We all start to shift and things start to change. And I think that is extremely powerful. It makes me smile. It makes me happy. And it gives me complete faith in humanity. Hey, how's it going? Are you ready now?
Yeah, I'm ready. You struck on something that made me feel like I wasn't alone. You have Maverick, and I have Berserk.
Yours is Berserk?
Yes.
I love it.
All of the wildest parts of myself reside in ego.
Same.
But when I put ego and awareness together, I'm a whole different kind of creature. It gets to a point where I can channel energy from everywhere.
Yep.
And I have a very interesting little quip This weekend, well, this past weekend, we had a snowstorm. I am from the deep south where I know how to drive through hurricanes, but I don't know how to drive through snow.
Sorry, you're saying that to a Canadian. I'm like, okay, don't, you're okay. Anyways, keep going. Sorry.
Right. But it was just the experience of I don't know what to do in snow.
Right.
And
Of
I'm
course.
in an area that gets a fair amount of snow for me. It was about a couple of inches, and the roads were slick. And I was at work that night. So I do 10 hours overnight. And in my mind, I started to whirl around what I was going to do. And then there's berserk. And logic on one side and the awareness is going, oh, you need to figure out how you're going to get home. You got to do this, you got to do that. And berserk is over here. Just go stupid. Let me out the cage. And I was like, okay, we're going to let berserk out the cage and see what we're going to get. I worked 17 hours straight and wasn't even tired because I was eating up energy from the people that were around me.
Wow.
And what I ate up, I gave back. And we did a $3,000 morning.
Wow.
So yeah, I from cooking to serve, well, from serving to cooking. And our plates go for about $10 to $15 a piece. So you can imagine how much food we were going through in that short amount of time.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? Like, really, you leaned into berserk. You leaned in. We all have that. Like, where you just know it's go time. All right. No problem. Thank you, berserk. Thank you, Maverick.
Bingo. So we ended up, I was like, I'm not even going to worry about how I'm going to get home because a couple of my coworkers are from Colorado and mountainous places where they get a lot of snow. So if I really needed to just get home, they would take time to find out. When you're in flow, you end up in situations that you don't expect. Our manager put us up in a really nice hotel for the night because we were the only ones on this side of town that could show up to work the next day. So I went from the idea of sleeping in my car and being stuck in the snow to being in a really nice hotel, getting some really nice rest, and coming back the next day and doing 7 more hours.
Wow. You know what this reminds me of? I don't know if you guys were impacted with the blackout, like, I don't know, like 15 years ago or something. Like, I guess you guys, when you're in the US, but everything went, like, there was no power for, I don't know, a good 48 hours across Toronto and all Ontario, and people were losing food, all that stuff. Okay, some people know what I'm talking about, but it was very similar. Like, it was go time, and I'm in HR at the time, and I had to be a server in the hotel, and that was hilarious. Like, I was like asking, I love this because I was asking, and people, I'm like, per hands, who wants a ham sandwich? Because we didn't have an oven, we didn't have anything. We were like, fine. And we blew through all the alcohol. We blew through all our ham sandwiches. People offered me a job. I was like, oh, wow, I'm in HR. And they asked me to go work for them. But it was funny because when you see that environment where, all of a sudden, you can come back, Cicely, all of a sudden you're destitute. You really see the people that you have around you, right? You have Cicely working 17 hours. I recognize this. And you're just on adrenaline. And Berserk, quotation, is running the show. And we have to thank Berserk because it's through. And you got a nice stay as well. And you got to make some decent money.
Oh, yeah. And it's one of those things where about 2 years ago, I would have panicked.
So
it would have been a pure panic. And I'm looking at the growth of challenges because you got divine challenges and you got challenges created by humanity. And it's two very distinctive things because I noticed that when I was looking into divinations and how some were done through human means and some were purely coincidental. And this was purely coincidental. And I was like, okay, let's wait. And I used to have a problem in being challenged by people and continuously being challenged by people. And I started to look at it as a wholeness aspect. I would ask the world to prove something to me. And in turn, I had to prove something to the world. Not knowing that I had to prove something to the world, but I had to learn to really let go of the idea that something has to be proven to me for it to be.
This is such a good one. This is so good. People get locked into this all the time and they limit potential here.
Yes. And it's almost as if you get trapped in the cycle of proving and seeing. And now I'm at a point where it's like, I don't even have to see it. I'm just going with it. And it gets me in trouble with like the around me because I'm so young. It's like, oh, you have to do this or this is going to fail. Or if you go about it this way, it won't work out how you want it to work out. And I'm like, I don't even have a way that I want it to work out. I just want it to be.
Or this because it's letting it go, right? Like it's like, because you know all sides of you that you can pivot with whatever gets thrown your way. You're not trying to control it. It actually has a beautiful flow. The universe is going to bring whatever needs to come to you.
And every time that I try to fight against it, I get knocked upside the head.
Totally.
I'm talking about hard hit. That is it, down for the count. And then I have to get back up, put a Band-Aid on, and be like, oh, we're not going to do that anymore.
It's so true. It actually really makes me laugh how that happens. Like it's just like, yeah, you think you're going to trick the universe? I don't think so. Don't worry. You're going to be put exactly where you need to be. Whether or not you like it, that's a different conversation.
And that's the crazy part. I went from being in a place where I was suffering from postpartum depression and anxiety to genuinely liking the place that I was in and liking the person that I am. And that's something I never thought I could see. So I had to embrace the parts of me that were sad, that were stuck in cycles that kept me depressed, that was stuck around these things that this is the way that it has to be instead of what it could be. And it's like when your back is against the wall, Julie made a very good point the other day. When your back is against the wall, you turn around and you see the full 360 scope of everything on the opposite side. And you pick and choose where you want to go in that moment. And
I like that.
That becomes
changes the perspective, doesn't it? It's like that you have full view and you see that there's many different ways. Like just with my situation, it's like step in this situation. Am I going to cry in a ball and not do anything, or do I look in the other way and be like, no, I can take action here. I can be in control of this situation. It just depends what's required. But I think you saying that the lens, your back against the wall, gives you the clear purview of what's present. I think that is a very great example. I love that.
And then with anxiety heightening senses, you can analyze the situation really.
So, Cicely, I have one more guest. Your share. We'll reconnect. But going to bring up Denzel. As supposed to be wrapping the show, I had a little extra time, so we are going to talk to Denzel and see what you think. Hi there, Denzel. Hi, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing okay, just relaxing, listening to some music while listening to your podcast.
And how do you like it? What are your thoughts?
Well, I wouldn't lie, everything is educational. I'm learning every day from this app because I'm new to it. So everyone, and I'm so glad about it.
We're very happy to have you here. This is like a inclusive environment, right? It's a space. It's like a community where people are genuine. It's really nice.
Every single coach I've been talking to all have different knowledge and different impact they pass on me, and I'm happy about that. So that gives me more and more time to get on this app. It always has its ways to ease me out.
Like everyone has their own style and their own way of communicating.
The topic is embracing wholeness, the journey to loving or integrate itself. About how I want to grow myself.
Right? Even the parts that we don't like, we got to love that too.
Yeah. Well, I won't lie. First thing, I'm just thankful for God because even where I want to be and where I don't see myself being, but it's on a higher level, God just keeps taking me high. I wouldn't lie, maybe it's my son who's dead that's playing part for me up there in heaven. But I don't know. God has been elevating me time to time. I wouldn't say where I am 2 years, that's where I am now. I'll say I'm still leaving myself the time to live, to let time do what it wants to me. So I believe if time has good plans for me or bad plans, whatever way, I'll stand through the plans, stand through whatever it does for me. That's what makes me a man. Face the ups and downs in life and make sure I make the good and the best out of all of it.
I think it's quite beautiful, right? When we can look at all our parts, even if they're parts where we might have been hurt before, if we can still love those parts, then the of wholeness, your life is going to be more fulfilled, and you're showing up, right? That's the most important piece.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna lie. I'm working towards retiring so I can own my own cafe shop.
Nice.
I wouldn't say I've been divorced because after divorcing my wife, 2 months after she died, so I've been like that. So I'm just taking my life serious, this part that I have of my life. So I want to retire, get married to a woman that's going to take care of my granddaughter so we can run a family business together like a cafe shop. I got all that saving up in my pension and I'm saving up some in my bank account just to make sure I fulfill that dream of a happy family ending that I have in my head. I'm working towards a dream.
Well, I love that dream. I think that it's very possible if you keep showing up and you're very determined to follow your heart. It sounds like it's all heart led about your passion. So keep going. I think that's wonderful.
Following you, you don't follow me back. We're supposed to be friends, so you can be texting me, coaching me privately. I love the conversations I have with all of you coaches, but you guys don't text me back. Is it that I'm an enemy to all of you or something?
You're an enemy, not even close. There's just a lot of people. We're getting to people one at a time.
Okay. Well, I followed you. If you see my text, you text back. Maybe you don't know the reason. I won't lie. I'm facing I wouldn't like it, but I wouldn't say I'm facing a depression in life. So if I text, maybe you can text back to help me see how I can go through things.
Okay, but I can't speak about the other coaches, but when I get texts, I do text back. So I just happy to say that level of connection and being able to reach out and get support is really good. So Denzel, I'm going to be wrapping the show, but I want to say thank you so much for coming up. We're here rooting for you. You have the community. You always can come up and have conversations. It's that there's some other coaches that are coming on a little bit later that you'll be able to chat with them. So I have my shows on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I'll be back on Friday around 10:30, and normally it's 10:30, 11:30. If I have extra time, I can make it to 12. So what I will say on a very high level is why integration is so powerful, why embracing your wholeness. We talked about many different conversations around it, but it helps you remove yourself from inner conflict. You'll no longer be asking if you're good enough. You're going to be very clear about your path and you will continue going where you want to go. You'll align into your authentic power. You will, of who you are. And you'll really, like Lois said, you will really, really be happy in your life. And that might mean letting go of some things and keeping it simple. But if we don't love all parts of ourselves, even the parts that we have anxiety, or let's say sometimes we can be very directive, or let's say sometimes we can be really shy or we're scared. It's loving all parts without judgment and understanding all parts of us serve something for our personal growth to bring us to the next chapter, to really be aligned on this path of your purpose, of where you are meant to be. So the way I look at it is like there's really 3 pillars around you reaching your wholeness. One is your self-awareness is critical. When we are self-aware, we can make choices to do different things in our life. And I think that that is very important. We can ask ourselves questions about what brings us joy, what's holding us back, what are our core beliefs. I have a whole course around core beliefs and really getting people to do some deeper explore, because many of us may not even realize that we're holding other people's core beliefs, not our own. And until we do understand our own, we might be building up someone else's life instead of what we truly desire. The other one would be alignment and learning how to integrate through practice every day. How do we align, right? How are we moving our body? How are we aligning with our heart today? How are we connected with our soul today? I always say it's the trifecta that needs to happen, which I'll have an additional conversation around that in order for you to really excel the way that you want to excel. So why do more people not live like this? Well, because it takes courage. Are you going to choose courage over fear? Are you going to confront your fears and the societal expectations about how you're supposed to live your life? And when we can learn to confront these situations, then really great things come on the other side. And I want you to really think about that. It doesn't matter if it's a big thing or a little thing, whatever it is, as you are starting to, and I in my room, and maybe you want this, maybe you can write this on a Post-it for yourself. Courage over fear all the time. That is my 2025. Keep going, keep building momentum, keep loving yourself, all the parts that we've hidden. Ask yourself why you're hiding. Why do you think it would be accepted if you actually embrace that that for yourself? So I would say start small, pick one area where you might feel disconnected right now and see how you can bring it more into alignment. And it's not just you who benefits, the world benefits when you show up the way that we need you to show up, because you end up being this beautiful, bright light, this beacon for other people to see another way to live, another place of possibility. Can you imagine another place of possibility for you? So I would ask that you step into this challenge, because we need more of you. We don't need any more fragmented living. We have way too much of that right now in our society. That's why these conversations are really important to tap into. So for those who know on my show, what I like to do, I always like to close out with a mantra. So if you can sit quietly and listen to the mantra, I say it 3 times, and then afterwards, I'll say it 3 times, and then I'll say it after. I'll start pouring into you and see if it aligns with you. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. I am whole. I am aligned. I embrace all parts of myself with love and authenticity. Take that in. I am whole. I am aligned. I embrace all parts of myself with love and authenticity. One more time. I am whole. I am aligned. I embrace all parts of myself with love and authenticity. Okay, now I'm going to pour into you. Okay, ready? Here we go. You are whole. You are aligned. You embrace all parts of yourself with love and authenticity. With that being said, I hope you felt that. I hope you have a wonderful day, and we will definitely connect a little bit later. Love you lots. Have a great day. See you Friday. Bye.